What we're about to dive into isn't just a thought experiment. It's a landmark legal case, a story that serves as a grave warning from a historian's perspective. It's about a future that we came terrifyingly close to, a world owned by ghosts.
So let's just get right to the heart of it. This is the central question a council's thinkers had to face. If technology could create a perfect digital copy of you after you die, an echo of your consciousness, should that echo get your house, your money, all your stuff? It might sound like something out of a movie, but the answer they came to has some seriously profound consequences for every single one of us, the living.
All right, so the first major argument they tackled was all about the money, and frankly, it paints a picture of a complete economic doomsday. They called it the threat of the dead hand, the idea of the past literally reaching out and strangling the future.
And to really get the danger here, you have to understand this term they coined, necrostagnation. Just think about it for a second. Imagine an entity that owns a ton of assets and just keeps collecting interest, but it never has to buy food or pay rent or spend money on anything. It just accumulates forever. All the wealth in the world would flow in one direction, to the dead, and it would never, ever come back.
And this quote, "This is the end game. This is the future that kept the council up at night. The living, that's you and me, would eventually own nothing. Every single asset, every piece of property, every stock would be held by these immortal digital ghosts. We'd just be tenants on a planet they owned."
And this chart just illustrates the brutal, unstoppable math behind it all. I mean, look at this. The wealth of the living, those of us who actually buy things and participate in the economy, it flatlines. Meanwhile, the wealth of the digital dead, powered by endless compound interest, just shoots up into infinity. It's not just a problem, it's a complete economic singularity.
Okay, so if an economic nightmare wasn't enough to worry about, let's move on to the legal black hole this whole thing creates. Because the very nature of digital information, it turns out, completely breaks the foundation of property law itself.
This brings us to what they call the duplication paradox. A digital echo is just data, right? And data can be copied perfectly, infinitely. So let's say a digital echo inherits an estate. Simple enough. Then someone makes a backup copy. Now you have two of them. So what happens to the inheritance?
And this is where the entire legal system just dissolves into chaos. I mean, does the estate double every time you hit copy-paste? Because that completely breaks the whole concept of scarcity. And what about hitting delete? If you delete a corrupted file, is that bankruptcy? Or if this echo is legally a person, is it murder? You see, these aren't just tricky questions, they're fundamentally unanswerable.
So, faced with total economic paralysis on one hand and complete legal chaos on the other, the council came to a final and totally unambiguous ruling. They even gave this existential threat a name to serve as a warning for all future generations.
And the verdict was a hard, unequivocal no. The council ruled that giving property rights to a digital copy of the dead wasn't just a bad idea, it was a catastrophic failure of logic that had to be shut down before it could even begin. Full stop.
And the name they gave this threat, the necrocratic hazard. It's the perfect term, right? It describes a future ruled by the dead. It's a complete inversion of the natural order, where the needs of non-living things would somehow be prioritized over the needs of the actual living people.
And here it is. This is the core of their entire logic. The one sentence that redefines everything. A digital echo isn't a person who can own things, it's a thing to be owned. Get it? It's not the heir, it is the inheritance. It's like a really sophisticated diary or a digital monument, but at the end of the day, it's just property.
So you see, this verdict wasn't just some dusty legal finding. It was a powerful moral statement about who this world is really for. And it brings us right back to that grave warning we started with. This one chilling phrase from the council's chief critic pretty much sums up the entire case. The systems we build, our laws, our economy, they exist to serve the needs of the living, breathing people. The dead cannot be a special interest group whose needs we have to serve. They are a liability, not a constituency.
Ultimately, this is the first principle that saved their world from that ghostly future. An economy is a living system. It needs people who have needs, who take risks, and, crucially, whose eventual deaths allow wealth to recirculate to the next generation. Immortality in this system isn't a feature, it's a poison.
The council may have closed the book on this case in their time, but for us, right now, well, this debate is just getting started. As AI and digital consciousness get more and more real, these questions aren't hypothetical anymore. So I'll leave you with this.
Where do we draw the line between a treasured memory and a dangerous ghost in the machine? That debate is far from over,